neighborhood.
What a joke. It ain't my problem if you don't like me. And I don't care if you disagree. I speak the truth and don't hold back. And I won't change, that's a fact. You can laugh at me, I don't care. I've been hated everywhere. Still standing tall, still standing strong. Still too damn proud to say I'm wrong. I've been down roads that took their toll. Lost some friends and found my soul. I've been broke but kept my pride. Had my faith when hope ran dry. Don't need a world to understand. A great fella taught me how to be a man. It ain't my problem if you don't like me. I'm still a man that I'm proud to be. Been broke, been burned, been left for dead. Still see things clearly in my head. I don't chase what ain't worth my time. I stay in my lane and walk that line. They talk tough, but I don't mind. I have everything that's meant to be mine. Don't need your rules, don't need your say. I'll do it all my damn way. I've been down roads that took their toll. Lost some friends and found my soul. I've been broke but kept my pride. Had my faith when hope ran dry. Don't need the world to understand. A great fella taught me how to be a man. It ain't my problem if you don't like me. I'm still a man that I'm proud to be. I've been down roads that won't drive twice. Paid my dues and rolled the dice. Ain't got much but what I built, and I built it all by myself. So let 'em talk, I have no fear. Ain't one word I need to hear. Still standing proud, still standing free. Ain't no man gonna speak for me. Up and down roads that took their toll. Lost some friends and found my soul. I've been broke but kept my pride. Had my faith when hope ran dry. Don't need the world to understand. A great fella taught me how to be a man. It ain't my problem if you don't like me. I'm still a man that I'm proud to be. Good evening, or
Powerful websites you need to know about. Streamer edition.
I should say, good afternoon. Welcome to the Rudy Bruce broadcast. I'm going to get started in a bit here. We're just going to wait for some more audience. We only have 4 in here. What is this about? Oh, that Gmail lawsuit thing. Yeah, whatever. Been beat down, but I don't stay low. Got mud on my jeans, still ready to go. Every scar's a story that I survived. I've been through hell, but I'm still alive. They said, slow down, boy, don't go too fast. But I ain't never been one to live in the past. I keep moving forward, never looking back, with a worn out hat and a 6-string strap. You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't changing my tone, ain't changing my song. I was born this way, been loud too long. You can hate my style, you can roll your eyes, but I ain't slowing down. I was born to rise, so kick them rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk.
Hello, Brenda.
I've lost some friends, made a few new foes, but that's just life, that's how it goes. I ain't bending over just to please a crowd. If I fall down, I'll fall down proud. I talk my truth, I live my way. Ain't nobody gonna take my say. This road's been rough, but I learned to trade. It's sweat, soul and dues I paid. You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't changing my tone, ain't changing my song. I was born this way, been loud too long. You can hate my style, you can roll your eyes, but I ain't slowing down. I was born to rise, so kick them rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the broadcast, the Rudy Bruce broadcast. And we've only got 11 in here. Let's share this out, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll get started here. We'll get this volume up. As far as how many are in the show. And there's only 8 of you, so I got all afternoon, by the way.
This is the Rudy Bruce broadcast. You focus on the truth, I focus on the facts. People of Canada, your voice will speak a million strong. If we come together and fight what's going on. We got homeless people living in tents. Be compassionate, do not judge, because 200,000 of us are using food banks. Where's the pride? Where's the pride? Where's our money we slave for? They cover it up. The working man is living for. Rudy has true leadership, speaking for the ones who are tired of this shit. Make the government officials get a grip, or everyone loses the respect. Something's wrong, open your eyes. They tell us lies, you're blinded to this and mowing your lawn. United, we stand, divided we fall. The time will come, the day is near, we will all march. So listen with your ears, we are not zombies or fresh meat. Let's grind up the government, make compost for the maple trees. Let's avenge the deaths of the ones who have fallen. Coronavirus, opioid, we're still trying. They thought they got away scot-free. We will get the last laugh. Just wait and see. These talks we have on the broadcast will provide and guide. Let's do it fast. Taxpayers believe we live strong and free. Everyone does. Are you shitting me? Round of applause for you and yours. For tuning in, we're opening doors. This is the real movement, people. Let's stand up, Canada, before we lose. We're still trying. away scot-free. We will get the last laugh, just like the sea. These songs we have on the broadcast, what provides a guide. Let's do it fast. Taxpayers believe we live strong and free. Everyone does. Are you shitting me? Round of applause to you and yours. To me, we're open doors. This is the real movement. People that stand up Canada before we lose it.
Okay, I don't. Well, it's very interesting. Even right now, the number is 9 or 8. 9. 9 people are in this chat. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube live this afternoon. Oh, now there's 10. One of the big things that the government did to the Canadian was a lot of brainwashing. Lots and lots of brainwashing, such as COVID-19 and all the bullshit, making you believe that this is how it should be, kind of thing, a mindset. Okay, even some of their bills are like, this is how it should be for a Canadian, a mindset that, you know, there is no free speech and you got to live a certain way according to policy. Okay, it's a mindset. The government has devised a nice little system to have you enter into contract without you even knowing it's a contract. That's how they've been getting away with everything, because you just think it's normal. You don't understand that what they're making us agree to and sign on to and blah, blah, blah is form of contract. That you're considered cattle, not a human being, but a straw guy, straw man. You ever heard of this? Okay. Everything they're asking you to do is all through contract. You're the living being, not the dead being. But they're dealing with the dead being, make believe guy that, you know, supposedly sits on your ass or sits in your ass, and fucking they have the right to control that. Simply because you don't understand the contract that they're getting you into, right? And the big thing in doing that is having to brainwash you to making you think that that's what the boundaries are of life. That's your rights and your no rights, and this is what you got to do and not do, blah, 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 blah. Like, for example, wearing a seatbelt. They say that when they came out with that little gizmo, little ticket affair, that was meant to save your life, that seatbelt. But if you really look into traffic accidents and shit like that, statistic wise, medical wise, seatbelts can cause you an awful lot of damage along with the so-called accident. Okay, these seatbelts can cause you internal damage, broken collarbones, the rest of it. Okay, but that part was never explained to you. But this is how we have to brainwash you to make you think that what we're pulling behind the strings here is the right thing for you to do. And if you don't do it, comply, they're going to hit you with a big hefty fine and 3 points off your license if you don't comply. But for years and years and years, prior to the seatbelt rules, there was no need for seatbelts unless you wanted to wear a seatbelt. It was a lap belt, right? Not a belt over your shoulder and plus a lap belt. There was no need for that situation. So, in other words, like, because you didn't have a seat, this is how it used to be. Because you didn't wear or believe in a seatbelt, okay, it made you more of a cautiouser driver, believe it or not. Because if you're going to hit something, it's going to fucking hurt, okay? Either financially or physically. It's going to fucking hurt. So it puts you on a caution in your head, to drive like a good driver, follow the rules, right? Everybody follow the rules and everybody should get along. There should be no need for an accident if you're driving properly, right? So the only big thing about an accident is mechanical error. Okay, that was the big fear, okay? As a professional driver, that was the big fear, that something unexpectedly would cause the accident because of mechanical failure on what you're operating. So, as long as you took caution in the way you were driving and paid attention to the rules of the road, there shouldn't really be this need for a fucking seatbelt. But oh no, they brought the seatbelt in under fire, and then the accident rates sort of started to go up a little bit for some fucking reason because people are too overconfident now because they got a stupid seatbelt on and weren't really following the rules of the road because they didn't give a shit anymore. I've got a seatbelt on. I'm going to be okay no matter what. Doesn't matter. I'm the king of the road and fuck everybody else. Is sort of what I get. Anyway, I went a little overboard on the exaggeration of all of this, but here's what it really boils down to. When it comes to a medical thing, for example, okay, this is kind of what takes place. Now, I've got it in here. Oh, and by the way, before I get into that, I want to bring up again last night's topic.
CTV's Kevin Chirac has more on why so many are falling through the cracks and the hardest hurdles they're facing.
87-year-old Lance Evans is homeless, spending his days in the library and nights trying to sleep in coffee shops.
So I sleep at Tim Hortons, and it's very difficult because my legs swell up. They're about twice the size that they should be.
He's been in and out of hospital and says doctors told him his leg issues may be linked to sleeping in a sitting position. Evans receives a pension but says he can't. He spent time in Richmond Emergency Shelter, says he feels safer on the streets.
Guys on canes, crutches, with 20-year-old kids using drugs. 4 guys in a room, 1 guy in a wheelchair, 3 guys taking drugs and fighting.
A senior with medical needs living without a home, and he's not alone.
This is my home right now. I'm 68 years old.
Across town, Ruth Tylo is living in a tent. She says years ago, black mold forced her out of her home. And since then, she's been moving between hospitals, shelters, and sleeping outside.
It's been too long from shelter to shelter at my age. Mobility issues and being around such a young generation of drug addicts and stuff. I want to be with seniors where I belong. It's time.
Local outreach workers say more seniors are turning up on the streets.
Isn't that interesting, eh? Right? old people like 80 something, 85, now homeless after they've given their entire life to working in Canada, being a, part of Canada and helping it grow and all that stuff, only to find out that at that age, instead of the glory years, you're living the worst years of your life because not only are you homeless, but you have all these ailments. Okay. And you living in a tent or what that gentleman was doing just to avoid going into a fucking shelter that is accommodating fucking psychopaths, okay, in amongst these elderly people. Are you fucking kidding me? This is the treatment Canadians end up as an end result in Canada, okay? Really? I mean, just think about it. That's not a very nice way to live or end up living after putting your whole life into working in Canada so that you can benefit off of my labor, okay, in exchange for money. And in that 40 years, I've put through I've had to put up with a lot of bullshit, okay, as a Canadian trucker. Don't get me wrong. That 40 years I put into labor into this country was not all fun and games, okay? There was some pretty very serious fucking things I did. But none of you even give a fuck. Because back in them days, nobody gave a fuck about truckers until, 2020, when the trucker convoy went to Ottawa. Oh, then we became something, right? I tell you something, being a trucker is an everyday fucking event, okay? There's not too many weekends off because you're usually working about 7 days a fucking week because you're trying to make up time for the bullshit you just went through last week, right? And then you're only allowed to work so many hours in a week work period. So that has to all be juggled into the play, right? And if you don't juggle it properly, then they're on your ass and you're fucked again, right? It's not like it used to be back in the day. But then something else hit my attention. Okay? Yeah, something else hit my attention. And I'll tell you, I'll find it, okay? I'll find it. Because this is really interesting, to say the least. And I believe it's here. But again, now why would that not be here? And I put it out there. It's got to be here. And I'm having a hard time finding it now. I don't understand that. Okay, just a minute. This is odd. Very odd. Oh, and okay, I got it. Okay, we're good. I got it. Listen to this.
The childhood wellness plan, everybody, 72 mandated vaccines by the age of 18. They start injecting pregnant women, second trimester. They give 99% of newborns hepatitis B vaccine. It contains biopersistent aluminum. It's the beginning of the problem. This is the scaffold that's been going on and on and
Listen to this.
on. In 1986, Congress gave Big Pharma carte blanche. Put in whatever you want. You have absolutely no liability. And in that year, the vaccine schedule tripled. I fell into.
Okay, now, just before I play the rest of this, okay, I want you to understand the amount of propaganda and the amount of fucking bullshit that the government put out to the public about vaccines in US. I mean, this all followed suit in Canada, okay? This is a big fucking problem, and nobody really understands this. But I'm going to play this for you, and you can hear for yourself the critical thing, this whole apparatus that these governments have put the public through. This is all based on money, okay? Not on medical ethics or anything like that. This is all based on how much they could push to get money from you, regardless if you were going to live or die. Didn't matter.
Race, I call it. When I testified against vaccine mandates in our legislature, Maine had a 95% voluntary vaccination rate. People actually believed in them. And they passed it anyway. So now, you know, I don't have to tell you the rest of the story, but that's 72. And take a look at how many that is. Babies are getting 7 shots at the same time. You baby boomers out there, oh, yeah, vaccines are safe and effective. Don't you remember polio and all of that stuff? Well, guess what? You had maybe 4. These kids have 72. That means that the people who first started with the 72 shots, and now that doesn't count flu or Gardasil or shingles or pneumonia or all the stuff that they're doing, those people are now 35 years old. They've already entered the zombie apocalypse. Next slide. Okay. Shot is experimental and it did not get FDA approval. That was a complete fraud. Okay, so whatever is out there is still under an EUA, emergency use authorization. Next slide. We're going to go fast here. The synthetic mRNA is a program that they put into your body. It's not like anything that's ever seen. Next slide. Okay, and it instructs your cells to produce the spike protein. Next slide. The spike protein in itself creates the disease. Next. Okay, so it also contains fetal cell lines, kidney cells, retinal cells, lung cells. These are immortal, meaning that they are cancerous. And Vandersteel just told me that kidney cell is now, it's a flavor additive in all kinds of foods. It's shocking. Yeah. Check that out. And once Clay talked about that, Wikipedia changed their story. Nice. Okay, next slide. Okay, so it's unknown, the health implications of injecting fetal DNA from 1970 into your body. We don't know. Next slide. Okay, all these shots, the COVID, contain polyethylene glycol. 70% of people are allergic to this. Remember when they told you, go in, get your shot with an EpiPen. And then, think of how stupid this is. You'd lose your ability to breathe, and then they would say, oh, the shot is working. Did you see any of those stupid Facebook videos? I've had my 2nd shot. I'm in bed. I've never been so sick, but I know it's working. Get your shot. Have you lost your minds? Okay, next slide. Okay. And then thousands of products contain polyethylene glycol, thousands of them, which means you've all had an opportunity to become sensitized. We didn't used to have that in things. Next slide. Polysorbate 80. Are you happy with your kids being injected with this stuff? They're about to experiment on babies and children under the age of 12 now. We should be outraged. Next slide, which I can't read. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Luciferase. The shot contains a bioluminescent dye. Have you seen the black light? You have the shot, you put a black light on it. Good, you can see it throughout your entire body. Yay, next slide. Okay, SM102, that's luciferase. It's a poison. Next slide. Okay, hydrogen nanoparticles. DARPA hydrogel. Next slide. And now, this is new ways to deliver drugs. By the way, you know when they say, oh, well, you don't need to have the shot, but you're going to have to be tested twice a week? You think that that test is benign? It is not. Next slide. Okay, so this is the DARPA hydrogel, and what it does, it puts these little fibers into your body that combine with your biologic tissue and begin to create an entire network within your pineal and all of that. Okay, next slide. Okay, so I want you to see how this stuff looks, and this is just from the swabs. Next slide. Okay, crystalline hydrogel. It makes all of these things within your body. The minute it goes in there, it starts. Next slide. Okay, yeah, the DARPA hydrogel creates blood clots. 60 to 70% of the people who've had the injection have a positive D-dimer test, meaning that will show that you have microclots. And it might not get you the first time, oh, hey, I'm just fine. Nothing's wrong with me. But wait a year, wait 2 years, wait 3 years. Next slide. Okay, then we have spy-ons. Have you seen those things on Instagram? Damn, I got the shot and now the scissors is sticking to me, right? Okay, and that is because of super magnetite. This is a thing called magnification. Magnification. You can't believe how diabolical the deep state is. Okay, next slide. Okay, graphene oxide. This stuff, I have an electrician friend. He goes, oh yeah, we use that. That conducts electricity really well. Yeah, that's the whole point. Injecting yourself with that. Next slide. Okay, graphene 666 is the chemical formulation. Does that sound familiar? And so that's in the shots. That's also a poison. Next slide. Okay, this is the cryptocurrency 666. That's the patent number from the Gates Foundation to connect you to the to cryptocurrency social credit score. Next slide. Okay, this is classic symptoms of electromagnetic radiation. Now, this transmission you hear about is probably because the DARPA hydrogel has some kind of a voltage. So what people are getting when they're around recently vaccinated people, bloody nose, 18-month-old babies, passing clots, that kind of thing, might be from the voltage of the DARPA hydrogel. We're not sure. And when that hydrogel goes through a hypodermic needle, the shearing force activates it. Next slide. Okay, and then this was all over the Olympics. Unilever, you know, they're combining artificial intelligence with biology. Okay, what could possibly go wrong? Next slide. Okay, and then 40 mechanisms of injury, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny. Every one of you needs to get Sherry's 40 mechanisms of injury. It's all from the peer-reviewed literature. All the links are there. She's got them as PDFs, drtenpenny.com. Any naysayer, you read this, game over. Next slide. Okay. So far, we've had 701,559 severe injuries, and only 1% of the injuries are even reported. Next slide. And they don't want you to see us. Look at these. These are the frontline workers who went and got the shot. Now they can't walk. Now they can't work. And they're told, here's what they tell them, which women have been told forever. Oh, it's anxiety. It's all in your head. Let's just give you some Valium. You'll be fine, little lady. So there's thousands and thousands of these people who don't have anyone to go to because this has been done. Talk about crimes against humanity. Next slide. Then that's 14,925 deaths so far. What in the world is going on? And if every one of you and everyone you know just stood up and said, we're done, do you understand it would just be over? Just be over. Next slide. Okay. Tom Rentz, our hero, had a whistleblower come from the CDC who can prove that with one database only, 1 out of 11, there have been 45,000 deaths within the first 3 days of having the shot. But here's what happens when you go to the doctor. Same thing, by the way, if your kid has a shot and then begins to have seizures and loses the ability to speak and walk, oh, that's a coincidence. That's what they tell you. You've had the shot, you dropped dead. Oh, that wasn't related. That must have been a coincidence. Are you kidding me? I'm disgusted with my profession. Absolutely disgusted. Next slide. Okay, when we had the swine flu, they stopped the program of the vaccines after 54 deaths. When is this going to stop? Not until we stop it. Next slide. Okay, myocarditis, 482 cases. This happens in young men. And now they want to do all of the major league sports and your school sports and so on. If one young man dies, it's too many. They wouldn't get COVID anyway. Okay, now Clay told me to stop at 4:30. Okay, keep going. We got a little time. Okay. Teenage boys, 6 times more likely to have their heart problems. with this shot. 6 times more like okay, I'll tell you what we're doing. We are trying to kill off, as far as I can tell.
We have to understand that
Wait a minute. Let's hear this now.
the policies which are being presented to us by high-level sources in the United States and Europe generally lead to an absolute disaster for humanity in the very near term. We have to understand that we are now at the end of civilization.
This guy.
That the policies which are being presented to us by high-level sources in the United States and Europe generally lead to an absolute disaster for humanity in the very near term.
You hear that?
We have to understand that we are...
Do you hear that? Okay, now I'll tell you something now. Okay? In order for there to be this great big vaccine push, for example, before all of this information came out on social media to tell people really what the fuck was going on, everybody was at a loss, okay, as far as really what to believe, because most of us had this trust in the government to believe that whatever the government was putting out with the CBC, I mean, these are the paid media personnel of the government, they come out with the story and they say, hey, this and hey, that, and blah, blah, blah. And you're supposed to take this in and deal with it. Well, how do you deal with all these massive deaths that have happened across Canada since they rolled out the COVID-19 jab, okay? How do you deal with all that? You think that's normal? Why? Because the government is saying that's normal? We're still rolling out these vaccines. There's been no halt to these. But yet there's now been there's one more inquiry going on now, but there was one before, and it's not a real inquiry with teeth to it. They just want to hear from the victims of COVID-19. They want people to speak out now about who they lost or what their condition is now, and so on, just to open up the conversation, kind of. And after you understand now what they're putting in vaccines, as we just went over that, are you fucking kidding me? There should be a halt to these fucking vaccines as of right now. This information has already been out there. It didn't just come out yesterday. This is total craziness, okay? In Canadians, they're not saying fuck all, really, about stop the vaccines or fuck all. And it gets even better than that, okay? How many Canadians have started speaking out about AI data centers? AI data centers, right? No.
About these AI data centers. We're being told that in order to run these giant data centers will require 1 to 5 million gallons per day. That's the equivalent to water consumption of over 50,000 people being used to run these AI data centers on a daily basis. And that's not true. You want to know the truth about these AI data centers? This man right here, his name is Doug Seavey. He's an expert on data centers. He's built and ran AI data centers in Iowa for many years. Listen to what he says.
And everything that Google is telling you is BS. I have a data center right now that's running in Hiawatha, and I have been there 14 years and have never used 1 gallon of water. You guys have to say no water. They don't have to have it, because they're lying to you. Big time. There's absolutely no reason to use a gallon of water. And the same thing on the efficiency of the electricity. They're doing the cheapest way they can. All they want to do is get the gravy, and when it turns to shit, they're gone. What Google isn't telling you is they don't want to use the technology because it costs more. They're going to burn through the water, and when it's done, and they don't care.
Have you ever heard of the term day zero? Look it up on Google. day zero is the moment the city's water supply gets so low that the taps are literally turned off. It means people can no longer get normal drinking water from anywhere. You have to get a very small, limited ration from emergency water centers that the government controls.
Okay, so what's the real purpose behind these data centers being required to have X number of gallons of water, for example? What kind of technology is actually going into these data centers that they need all this electricity to run them and all this water to help run them too? I think there's more to this than what meets the eye. Because, first of all, they're interfering with your drinking supply, your water supply. Okay, that's a crime against humanity. If they're trying to circle the wagons on our drinking water now, okay, so that all our drinking water becomes like you got to really pay for it. Like I go to a stream and I fill up my jugs from a stream, okay, for drinking water, and the whole bit, okay. But you guys in the cities and towns, you're paying for the water supply. But if they're able to fuck up that water supply and make it more expensive for water, because there's a shortage of water and it's got to be trucked in, that's a cost, okay? And then there's another cost for distribution and so on and so on and so on. And then they make water a very, very big, expensive commodity. On top of these nefarious jabs of vaccines, okay, along with the shit they're spraying in the sky in chemtrails. Everybody wants to not believe that's happening, but it is. And then you come into the nefarious bills that government is putting together to control you and make you follow the line of what they're telling you to do, basically. Or there's a fine involved. Like, for example, distracted driving, okay? That's a real good one. I find that one to be a real fucking good one. All right? That's another fine. I don't know if it's points off your license or not, but I haven't been hit with that one yet. But these are all little tiny hurdles that they put in front of you. For you to get to toe the line, you got to do what government tells you to do. You know, whether that source comes through the bullshit CBC or some news release or whatever. But I mean, when it comes to social media guys like me, just telling you the truth behind the whole fucking scheme, which all boils back to Agenda 2030 and blah, blah, blah. It's all there in front of you. If you start doing a little research on your own, you'll find this shit all over the fucking place. It's been out there for quite a while. And yet, we're still in this predicament that, I mean, and getting worse financially, constantly. I mean, it just goes to show you, you've got 87-year-old guys can't even afford to pay the rent off their pension, and they're on the street. Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Like, what's it all for? Like, why be born and go through all this? Oh, got to get a job, got to get a house, got to get a car, blah, 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 to fit into society and, be a contributor of society and blah, 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 and have pride in your work and blah, blah, blah for X number of years, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, you can retire and you should have a nice life after you putting in all your time to helping be a functioning part of society, right? Only to find out you can't afford to pay rent, that you've got to live on the street, and you really got to make ends meet if you're going to live on the street, because most of the time you don't have a fucking kitchen on your back, right? You might have a pack sack, but I didn't even see that guy wearing a pack sack. So you're going to be buying all your food, fast food, okay, restaurants, whatever. Now, when that money runs out, you're kind of fucked, right? They'll tell you go to the food bank. Only the food bank is going to give you food that you've got to cook, but you don't have a kitchen, okay? So what the fuck good is that? Okay, eat the loaf of bread raw, I guess. I don't fucking know. Or eat everything raw, okay? That they give you, and you better eat it fast because they're going to give you maybe a week's worth or something, and you got to store this shit somewhere cool or it goes bad. There's a lot of complications to living on the street. It's not just easy peasy, okay? You don't just say to yourself one day, well, I'm going to cut all this cost of living and I'm just going to go live on the street. And by the way, there's 4 seasons in Canada. Winter happens to be one of them. So unless maybe you've got some miracle house that you pack and unpack, you're going to freeze your ass off, right? If you don't have proper heat. And that has happened. Guys have lost their limbs due to frostbite and a number of other things, and they lose their limbs. And where are they still? In tents. There was a guy in Ontario, and they did a story on the guy, and he lost his legs due to this frostbite bullshit. And he was still, I mean, in the interview, he's still in a tent with no proper care. Now that he's lost his legs, he's in a tent, okay, homeless, and nobody gave a fuck. These are Canadians that live amongst us, okay? Or the girl that got a shot because she was required to, because she was a nurse, and becomes paralyzed from the neck down, right? Because of the shot, okay? And she goes through one hell of a fucking time. They even had the gall to offer her maid, okay? As a result of the low quality of life that Canada gave her due to bullshit. So that's what it's like to be a Canadian. It seems like we've been guinea pigs and being stepped on and all the rest of it, right? And now, 11 years later, since I started broadcasting, with all a mountain of shit that they put on the stack to keep us in chaos, keep us busy, with dealing with all their shit. I mean, after all, if you don't have some smarts about you, you're going to live with no roof over your head, no means to keep in heat, and nowhere to cook your food or go to the bathroom. That's why people are turning to RVs and trailers and cars and you name it. You don't always see it all over the place because sometimes it's hidden well enough that you don't notice it. But there is a lot of noticeable stuff where people are living in RVs, especially around Calgary and Edmonton, Saskatoon, Regina, Vancouver, the lower mainland. They're all over the place. And it's getting worse. And it's going to get worse because shit isn't going to start going right for us right away. This is 11 years in now, and it's continually going to still get fucking wrong for Canadians until Canadians start to get it in the head that they've got to stand up and fucking voice something about something, because this is an awful lot of shit that they're putting us Canadians through with the big immigration numbers and the fucking, paying these guys as wages, through our Canadian tax dollars. They call it the immigration migrant worker program. That's it. The migrant worker program. Okay, the government, you hire overseas because you can't seem to find a Canadian that can seem to do the job. So these companies are being given an out, okay, to not hire a Canadian, but a migrant worker. So they hire these outside migrant workers, and they get half their wages. They are only paying half the wage. The government pays the other wage, or the other part of the wage. Okay, so they're subsidizing the worker to come into our country and take our jobs away. Now, does that make sense? You're paying your taxes for this to happen, that they can bring in a worker from overseas or whatever and replace you, and you're still paying taxes for all this bullshit. And the lists go on. And this is how fucking corrupt the government is, okay? To exclude you from the workforce so that they can sway the vote, maybe. Oh, nice liberal government lets me come to Canada, gets all these benefits. Oh, yeah, baby. Who isn't going to vote for that party, right? While the rest of us Canadians sit on the fucking fence post in the snowbank, and we're wondering what the fuck just happened, right? Canadians, you know, you really got to come to some senses here, okay? I'm going to show you another example of how fucked up shit is, okay? Really. I really think this shit is really, really fucked up in the head, right? Really, really, really. Where are we here? Oh, maybe I can't find this one. I don't know why. Nope. Well, what's this one?
Using an aggressive legislative
I don't know.
using an aggressive legislative mechanism to force this massive surveillance law through Parliament before the summer break. This means that over 90 amendments to this bill will never be debated or made public, and the final vote is being rushed through by this Thursday night. Bill C-22, if you're not familiar, establishes a sweeping new lawful access regime, granting the RCMP, local police, and CSIS unprecedented powers to intercept your private digital communications and seize your personal data. This bill lays the foundation for a total surveillance state by forcing the internet and telecom companies to log and store the sensitive metadata and location history of everyday Canadians for up to a year, even if you are not suspected of a crime. It also forces tech companies to build interception capabilities directly into their systems, creating backdoors that destroy end-to-end encryption and fundamentally compromise online privacy. The government claims that this is necessary to fight modern digital crime. Civil liberties groups warn that bypassing the democratic process permanently dismantles our privacy rights, and the rest of us that are awake all know what will happen once our government gains this level of unchecked access to the private lives of its citizens.
In other words, total surveillance over everything you're going to do online. In other words, they want all of your data, all of your fucking communications. And in Britain, they turned around and they fucking call this hate speech. They bring in certain elements of what you're saying on the internet, and they bring you to court on a hate speech charge or some bullshit, or inciting a riot, or whatever they want to make it to be. Okay, with that data, they can twist and turn everything in a court of law, and you have no say about it, right? Or something. Or they could just shut you off the internet or something. Okay, why are they getting the right to invade our very own privacy? Okay, privacy rights go right out the fucking window here. Okay, no court of law, no warrant, no fuck all. Just in there and grab that data, baby. Just find out what the fuck you want to find out about somebody, and you fuck him up the ass as much as you want to. Look at the separation that Alberta is facing, okay? The independence thing. And they want this kind of data on you. And then you've got these guys that say, no, let's stay confederated with this corrupt bullshit. Okay. Let's stay with this corrupt bullshit that they have, and we're gonna go along with it, right? Right? And they love fucking bringing down information off the internet already. I can see they've done that. So I don't know if I can show you that piece I wanted to show you, but it just basically shows you the stupidity of some Canadians thinking that the Alberta independence is not a good thing, because that's bullshit. Alberta independence is a good thing because it's a strike against the fucking corrupt federal government, which has got its eyeball it's got corruption to its eyeballs, okay? Not the neck down, but eyeballs down, okay? Like it's pretty fucking high up there. The amount of corruption the federal government does to Canadians is unbelievable, and it's still going on. Now, you Canadians can say, well, we got to stay together. For what? So that you keep getting fucked up the ass by a federal corrupt government? Really? That's what you want to stick onto? And come up with all this other bullshit about, well, what about your currency? What about this? What about that? Well, this is all coming out in the fucking talks and all that bullshit. All that shit gets ironed out, and all that fucking shit comes to play and comes to bear because of the representatives representing the province that we all have agreed to cancel the federal government's bullshit ticket and start standing on our own. I mean, you look at the dollars that Alberta has forked out to Ottawa and no dollars coming back. This is huge, okay? Huge. I mean, they have literally sucked Alberta dry. And then you get all these fucking idiots coming on social media trying to tell you, oh no, we got to stay a united Canada. For what? For what, really? Okay? So they can continue to bleed you dry? And keep putting that bullshit in your head about how to live and how to be and blah, blah, blah. And we also want to take your guns away, too, by the way, because they're such bad things. The federal government is corrupt to its eyeballs, okay? And that is the purpose of breaking off from a corrupt organization and straightening out your own house in your own province. And Saskatchewan's on the mark, British Columbia's on the mark, Yukon should be on the mark for independence as well. Because that's the only way this bullshit's going to really stop.
Hello there. Thank you for joining us. This is the Rudy Bruce broadcast. You focus on the truth. I focus on the facts.
By the way, Cherryville, June 26th, 27th, 28th, I'm having a rally here. Now, I don't give a fuck. And I want to make it quite well known, okay? And I say this because I want to see real Canadians, not phony Canadians. In other words, anyway, basically what I was saying to begin with is I don't give a fuck if there's 1 or 500, okay, that show up in Cherryville on those dates. The 26th is the gathering day, the 27th is the speaking day, and the 28th is socializing, okay? On the 26th, 27th, 28th of June, that's not this weekend, but next weekend. If you're a real Canadian and you believe in standing up for your country, please, by all means, you're invited, okay? And if you're a liberal that wants to say some fucking shit, you're invited to. Because that's what Canada is, free speech. an assembly, constitutionally. What I'm doing is within the Canadian law of common law. I don't have to contract with a government that's corrupt. That's you got to learn.
Hello there. Thank you for joining us. This is the Rudy Bruce broadcast. You focus on the truth. I focus on the facts. People of Canada, your voice will speak a million strong. If we come together and fight what's going on, we got homeless people living in tents. Be compassionate, do not judge, because 200,000 of us are using food banks. Where's the pride? Where's the pride? Where's our money we slave for? They cover it up. The working man is living poor. Rudy has true leadership, speaking for the ones who are tired of this shit. Make the government officials get a grip, or everyone loses the respect. Something's wrong, open your eyes. They tell us lies, you're blinded to this and mowing your lawn. United, we stand, divided we fall. The time will come, the day is near, we will all march. So listen with your ears, we are not zombies or fresh meat. Let's grind up the government, make compost for the maple trees. Let's avenge the deaths of the ones who have fallen. Coronavirus, opioid, we're still trying. They thought they got away scot-free. We will get the last laugh, just wait and see. These talks we have on the broadcast will provide the guide. Let's do it fast. Taxpayers believe we live strong and free. Everyone does. Are you shitting me? Round of applause to you and yours for tuning in. We're opening doors. This is the real movement, people. Let's stand up, Canada, before we lose. They thought they got away scot-free. We'll get the last round, just wait and see. These talks we have on the broadcast will provide the guide. Let's do it fast. Taxpayers believe we live strong and free. Everyone does. Are you shitting me? Round of applause to you and yours for tuning in. We're opening doors. This is the real movement. People, let's stand up, Canada, before we lose it.
Okay, so 26th, 27th, 28th of June. I'd like to see you all in Cherryville if you can make it. If you're in BC, if you're in Alberta, put it on the map and let's get it on. Because that's the only way we're going to be able to save our country in any way, shape, or form, and that is for Canadians to come together and start joining up together and start making ourselves known to this corrupt government. We're not on your side, okay? And we're not going to agree with it. And we're going to stand up against it. Because that's the only way you're going to make any kind of headway. And the more we get involved and the more we stand up, the more they're going to take notice, say, hey, there's a few people in disagreement over this. And they're growing in numbers, boss. What the fuck? In other words, look at it realistically. If you don't fucking stand up and you let it all happen, then who's really to blame here? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just getting the word out there. Stay tuned for further updates. Hit the bell on the YouTube channel. You know, you'll get notifications. Join up on the Facebook page. You know what I mean? The Facebook page, the Rudy Bruce Broadcast Facebook page, and you should get a notification. Okay. So, I can't make it due to attending a wedding in Saskatchewan. Now, if you can't make it, you can't make it. But there's others that can, and the message is out there. I'm asking those that can make it to make it, and hopefully a lot of people can make it. Otherwise, I don't care if there's one or 500, okay? It is what it is, right? Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining the broadcast again. Remember, share this out as much as you can. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen.